If you're already taking Cialis for erectile dysfunction or prostate problems, but only when you need it, you might actually be missing out on the major benefit, because the reason I prescribe it has nothing to do with those conditions. It actually has to do with healing arteries. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take Cialis, what it's for, what it can actually do for your arteries, and why most men who take it are only getting a fraction of its benefits. So what is Cialis, also known as tadalafil, actually doing inside the body that makes it relevant to your arteries? The target is the inner lining of your arteries, that thin layer of cells, that thin lining. Now, we call it the endothelium or the intima. Endo means inside, and thelium refers to a tissue layer that lines the surface. The endothelium is essentially an organ in its own right. It controls whether your arteries relax or stay tight, whether they stay calm or become inflamed. Inflammation. That's what inflammation is. They control whether blood moves through them freely or starts meeting resistance. So tadalafil works on exactly that layer. It helps that lining, the endothelium, function more like it did when it was younger, more relaxed, less reactive, better at keeping blood moving the way it should. So I use tadalafil as a long-term artery medicine, not to erase plaque. It's not going to do that, but to help arteries behave more like the healthy vessels they used to be. If tadalafil works on the artery lining, what is the actual mechanism? This is worth understanding because it changes how you think about tadalafil entirely. Inside your artery walls, there's a chemical process that keeps the smooth muscle in the wall relaxed, allowing that artery to open up and let blood flow freely. That's the healthy state. But the body also produces an enzyme whose job is to break that relaxation signal. So in a sense, your body's constantly working against its own ability to keep arteries open. The more active that enzyme is, the tighter your arteries stay. The more constricted, the more prone to inflammation. But tadalafil blocks that enzyme. When that enzyme gets blocked, the relaxation signal builds up and stays active longer. That triggers the release of nitric oxide, the body's primary chemical messenger for telling blood vessels to open up and stay open. Nitric oxide is critical. When you don't have enough of it, arteries stay stiff, blood flow suffers, and the vessel wall starts accumulating damage over time. Now, the mechanism makes sense, but does it show up in real measurements in real people? Here's what the research actually shows. The first thing I look at is whether the artery lining is actually working better. There's a test for this. It measures how well an artery opens up in response to increased blood flow. It's a direct functional measure of whether the endothelium is doing its job. Daily tadalafil improves that response. The lining starts behaving more like it should. Second, it reduces a chemical called endothelin-1. That's just a fancy word. You don't have to remember it, but it's a substance that the body produces that constricts arteries and drives inflammation in the vessel wall. High levels of it are obviously not good. Tadalafil brings those levels down. Third, arteries become less stiff. Stiff arteries force the heart to work harder with every single beat. They also transmit that force into the smallest blood vessels in the brain, the kidneys, and heart muscle, damaging all of those over time. So you don't want damaged brain, kidney, and heart muscles. Tadalafil also improves a measurement called the pulse wave velocity. It's essentially a score for arterial stiffness. Lower is better. Tadalafil moves it in the right direction. Fourth, and this one I find really interesting. It improves the number and function of the repair cells that circulate in your bloodstream and maintain the artery lining. Think of these as the body's own maintenance, cleanup crew for the vessel wall. When they're working well, that endothelium stays intact. When they're deleted or depleted or dysfunctional, damage accumulates faster than it can be repaired. That's not a good thing. What's the evidence there? Well, long-term studies on men at high cardiovascular risk who took this class of drug daily show roughly a 20 to 25% lower risk of heart attacks and about a 30% lower risk of dying from any cause over many years. Although this is coming from what we call observational studies, which are not as strong as randomized trials. So I present it as a meaningful signal, not a guaranteed promise. Not the hardest evidence, but not bad. It's real data. It points in a consistent direction. Okay, now maybe you're thinking, okay, Ford, just tell me how much to take. I got it. Since tadalafil stays active in the body for about 17 hours, a once daily dose keeps a consistent level in your system around the clock, which is exactly what you want if the goal is continuous support for the artery lining. Taking it only when needed, say like before sexual activity, that's what most people think about. That gives you peaks and valleys, which we really don't. We want a smooth, steady level. The drug is active for a stretch and then it's largely gone if you're only taking it when you're going to have sex. So for symptom management, that may be fine, but for arterial health, you want it working every day, not just on occasions. My standard approach is 5 milligrams once daily, and I personally take 5 milligrams once daily. The clearest use case, and the one I lean on the most, is a man who already has ED or prostate-related urinary symptoms. Those are the established, approved reasons to prescribe it. In that patient, 5 milligrams daily handles what brought him in, the ED symptoms, and delivers continuous arterial support as a bonus on top. That's the framing I use for many patients. You're getting symptom relief plus a vascular benefit from the same drug. Same dose, same daily habit. But even if you have lower urinary tract symptoms, increased urination when you go to bed at night, and that's what I have, typically 2 times a night, that's a good reason to take tadalafil as well. Using tadalafil purely for your artery health with no ED or urinary symptoms is a slightly different situation. That's what we call off-label use, meaning outside the formally approved indications. I've considered it in very high-risk, motivated patients who are already fully optimized on everything else and have clear evidence of arterial dysfunction. But that's not the usual. It's not routine. And I state that clearly to those patients. The evidence for vascular benefit is biologically sound, but still largely indirect. We're not promising plaque shrinkage. We're targeting function and risk. But one of the most important things to get right with tadalafil is where it belongs in the overall prevention plan. What goes wrong when patients assume that it replaces something else? The foundation is always lifestyle. That means fixing the metabolic disease that's driving arterial damage in the first place, eating low carb, controlling blood sugar, reducing inflammation, getting consistent and the right kind of effective exercise, exercising your large muscles in your legs and hips and thighs and calves, getting good resistance training, resistance snacks, getting hit and re-hit. And if you don't know what all these things mean, you need to learn so you can be getting those done. And getting good sleep. These are all the primary tools. Medications are not the primary tools. Tadalafil is not the primary tool. Lifestyle is. If the metabolic fire is still burning, no drug's going to undo the damage faster than the damage is accumulating. That's where the work starts. A lot of men with prostate issues are waking up 2 or 3 times a night to go to the bathroom. As I said, that's me. That's not just inconvenient, it's disrupted sleep, which drives up cortisol, raises blood sugar, increases inflammation, and puts direct stress on the cardiovascular system. So when tadalafil helps a man sleep through the night by reducing those urinary symptoms, that's not trivial. It's not a trivial side benefit at all. Better sleep supports better metabolic health, which supports better arterial health. The benefits compound. Now, there's a problem with this approach. Because I use tadalafil as a long-term tool, knowing when to stop might matter as much as knowing when to start. What are the signals that end the prescription that day? No negotiation? Well, let me start with the common side effects because these are real but manageable. Headache, flushing, a little bit of back pain, mild dizziness. Some people feel a slight drop in energy. For most patients, these settle down with time. If they don't, I'll adjust the timing, sometimes switching from morning to evening. Sometimes that makes a difference. But there are 4 signals that don't get managed. They get acted on immediately. The first is any sudden change in vision, any, at all. Painless loss of vision in one eye, a new blind spot, sudden blurring, a dramatic change in color perception. All these things raise concern for a serious and potentially permanent injury to the optic nerve, the nerve that you see through. Any sudden visual change, the drug stops that day and you get an urgent eye exam. No waiting to see if it passes. The second, sudden hearing loss or severe new ringing in the ears. Same rule, stop immediately. The third, near fainting, significant dizziness on standing, or a dramatic drop in blood pressure, especially on those who are already taking other blood pressure medications. This becomes especially dangerous in patients who are also on other prostate medications or on multiple blood pressure medications. The combination can push your blood pressure down into dangerous territory where you're getting dizzy and having symptoms. That's not safe. The fourth, which I want to be very direct about, is nitrates. If you take a nitrate medication for chest pain, nitroglycerin under the tongue, long-acting nitrates, anything in that class of drugs, tadalafil's off the table. Combining those two can cause a profound, potentially life-threatening drop in blood pressure. It's not a soft, manageable side effect. It's a contraindication. It's absolute, don't do it. My team and I have helped thousands of people do exactly what I just described in this video. Now, if you'd like to know how we can personally help you, click the link in the description below or call the number on your screen now to talk to our experts. So healing arteries is a long-term project. No vascular benefit is worth trading against vision loss, a dangerous blood pressure crash, chest pain that hasn't been properly evaluated, any of those things. Those can be life-threatening. But if you're really committed to heal your arteries, start by watching this video right here. And remember, growing old is not for sissies, but it's a lot easier with healthy arteries.